Hello, and thanks for watching another edition of ARFCOM News. Today I want to tell you about why I'm standing in this beautiful slice of America, a South Carolina bill which would legalize open carry, how gun confiscation in Middle-earth didn't work, and ATF taking discretion from their field agents, plus lots more. But before we get started, I want to tell you about the cruelty-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, zero-trans fat night vision products offered to you by our friends at tnvc.com, just like Mom used to make. If you like seeing stuff more than not seeing stuff, take a look at our sponsor, tnvc.com, your source for quality night vision gear to make you the bump in the night. Today I want to get this party started with a little news about what we have been up to ourselves. I am in South Carolina today because the ARFCOM crew is attending the gathering at the Sawmill. Magpul sponsored our coverage of this event, which is a gathering of dozens of companies involved with the pew industry. I got to shoot some guns, meet one of my heroes, and pick on Pat.
Rapid fire and
We managed to dodge a flock of tornadoes and a whole herd of flying monkeys, and if the weather clears, we'll be hitting it hard tomorrow to show you some high-quality pews brought to you by Magpul. Stay tuned over the next few weeks as we get the videos edited, and you'll get to see all the cool stuff and fun people we ran into at the gathering brought to you by Magpul.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because they pay me every time I do.
Seeing as how we're in South Carolina at the moment, I thought it fitting to cover some gun rights news from this neck of the woods. Although South Carolina isn't particularly draconian regarding gun rights, it is one of a very small number of states where there is simply no legal way to carry a handgun openly in public. It's a shell issue state, and South Carolina honors permits from many other states, but even with a carry permit, you must keep your smoke wagon hidden at all times. House Bill 3094 would make it legal for permit holders to carry openly, as in most other places in these United States. In my not so humble opinion, House Bill 3094 goes nowhere near far enough to restore the fundamental rights of South Carolinians, but it does move in the right direction. House Bill 3094 would only make it legal to carry a gun openly if it is smaller than 12 inches in any direction and only with a state-issued permission slip. The pearl-clutching, concerned reason for that wording is to prevent people from carrying long arms at political rallies for the purpose of intimidating the opposition. Something Mulford Act. While House Bill 3094 isn't remotely perfect, we still shouldn't allow perfect to be the enemy of the good. So I want you folks to encourage lawmakers here in South Carolina to get it passed. It has 67 co-sponsors, and the House Majority Leader Gary Simrill said he is almost certain it will pass the House. If you want to do your part, please click the link in the doobly-doo to go to scstatehouse.gov and peruse their fine selection of politicriters. Once you have made your choice, call them up and tell them to vote for House Bill 3094 because the right to be armed is inviolable and a person shouldn't get locked up just because a gust of wind blew their shirt open or they had to reach the top shelf to get the last box of Fruit Loops. Tell them almost every other state allows open carry, and the only other states so backward as to prohibit it entirely are California, Florida, and Illinois. You don't want to be mentioned in the same sentence as Florida man, do you? Paul, get that shocked Pikachu meme ready. No, the high-res one. No, the real high-res shocked Pikachu. Perfection. The gun confiscation plot in Middle-earth has not magically ended human enmity. In fact, there has been a dramatic increase in firearm-related crime. New Zealand police report 4,542 firearm-related offenses in 2020, which is a profound increase. It's almost as if there were more law-breaking when you make more things illegal. A more cynical man than I might take this opportunity to argue that's the whole point. That the purpose of laws like these have never been to make men safe, Gun control isn't about guns, it's about control. Well, it started raining and Paul didn't want the cameras to get wet, but I guess screw me. Something ISO, light, blah, 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 hypothermia. So I'll stand out here and the cameras will stand under the tent and we'll get back to it. Ayn Rand said there's no way to rule innocent men. The only power any government has is the power to crack down on criminals. Well, when there aren't enough criminals, one makes them. One declares so many things to be a crime that it becomes impossible for men to live without breaking laws. Well, I'm not quite that cynical. I don't think the authoritarian laws passed in New Zealand are intended to subdue all men under the control of Sauron, at least not on purpose. No, they're just the predictable result of emotional nincompoops. Without any rational thought or attempt at reasoned discussion, the government of New Zealand rushed to ban and confiscate arms, and their efforts were predictably met with resistance. Few gun owners bothered to comply with the new laws, and only a small percentage of guns were ever surrendered. Nicole McKee, a member of the parliament, said, "What we're looking at is two pieces of rushed legislation that went through so fast that the unintended consequences of doing that are starting to be realized. And of course, the effects that we're seeing are a less safer community." Concealed carry permits are processed by the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services in Florida. When the bat sniffles kicked off, most police departments and sheriff's offices stopped seeing people in person, and that made it pretty difficult to complete the fingerprinting requirement for a CCW permit. At first, the web portal for carry permits remained open, but applicants were unable to complete the fingerprinting, and the department is not allowed by Florida law to refund application fees. Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried made the decision to close the web portal, which understandably angered gun rights advocates and prompted a lawsuit. Fried then reopened the licensing division back in June, but claimed her decision had nothing to do with the lawsuit. Now, Florida Representative Blaise Ingoglia has sponsored HB 1343, which would make it illegal for the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services to shut down permitting operations. So, please pause the video right now and go to floridahouse.gov/representatives and pick a politicritter to hassle. Call them up and tell them not to allow partisan politics to shut down essential state services. Tell them no matter where they stand on gun rights, government services should not be subject to political whims. When you buy a gun from a federally licensed dealer, they perform a background check. That usually means they call a state agency, such as the state police, who check against the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, which is administered by the FBI. Within a few minutes, they will receive a response of either proceed, delayed, or denied. Delayed means there is something in the check which they are worried about, but it isn't a clear indication you are a prohibited possessor. Maybe another person with the same name has a felony, or maybe you have a conviction which would be a felony in another state. Or maybe they just hate your face. Honestly, they aren't at all transparent about it, so it's hard to say. But if you are delayed and the FBI can't find a concrete reason to deny you, the dealer can transfer the firearm after 3 government business days. Every now and then, the FBI does eventually find the transferee is actually a prohibited possessor after the period expires. In that case, the FBI notifies the ATF and they determine whether to spend the resources to recover the firearm. In some cases, they find some old guy got a nonviolent felony in his teens and he's a pretty low risk for committing a crime, so maybe it's not worth spending finite resources to go hassle the guy. But according to a document published by AmmoLand, the Assistant Director of Field Operations, Tom Chittum, has essentially removed the discretion from his field agents. Technically, they can still elect not to hassle the transferee, but if they do, their computer system will force them to provide the reason. Every month. For frackin' ever. So sure, they still technically have discretion, but in practice, they really don't. Well, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy watching these things because I sure like making them for you. Do you want to know a secret to beating the ammo shortage? AR15.com/deals is constantly updated with scores on ammo, guns, magazines, and accessories so that you can get the drop on the neckbeards before they snatch up all the good stuff. So bookmark AR15.com/deals and check AR15.com/deals every day. If you want to help us keep bringing you banger content like this, please support the folks who support us. Not only does TNVC.com give you that night vision with cool, refreshing, never bitter taste that goes down smooth, they also have mounts, lights, and all sorts of other gear to make you the bump in the night. And if you want a baller cap like this one, you can get it on Brownells.com. Or you can buy fly shirts like this one from your Teespring store. Or if you'd like to try your luck and see if you can win your choice of rad shirt from our Teespring store, post a comment containing the phrase, "I've seen things you people wouldn't believe" in the YouTube comments, and I will arbitrarily and unilaterally choose the best one. I love you. I know. I know. It's bothered to comply with the new law.